There's a version of you that people would actually listen to, a version where your opinions carry weight, where people naturally lean in when you speak, where respect isn't something you have to beg for, it just exists. And the gap between who you are now and that version, it's not what you think. It's not about being louder, it's not about being more confident, it's not even about changing how you look or what you say. It's something quieter, something most people never discover because they're too busy trying to be liked. Think about the last time you felt invisible in a conversation. You said something, maybe it was insightful, maybe it was funny, maybe it was important, and nothing. No reaction, no acknowledgement, like your words just evaporated into the air. Then someone else says almost the exact same thing 5 minutes later, and suddenly everyone's nodding, laughing, agreeing. What just happened? Here's what your brain tells you. I'm not interesting enough. I'm not smart enough. I don't matter enough. But that's not it. The problem isn't what you said. It's not even how you said it. The problem is something invisible that you're broadcasting to everyone around you, a silent signal. And until you change it, people will keep treating you like background noise. The signal is this: neediness. Not neediness in the obvious way, not desperation or clinginess. I'm talking about something more subtle, more insidious. It's the energy that says, I need you to validate that I exist. I need you to confirm that I'm okay. I need you to give me permission to take up space. And people can feel it, not consciously, but they sense it the way you sense when someone's standing too close behind you in line. Their brain picks up on it and makes a split-second judgment. This person needs something from me. And the moment someone feels that, you lose. Because people don't respect need, they respect self-sufficiency. They don't gravitate toward those seeking approval. They gravitate toward those who already have it from themselves. So here's the one thing that changes everything. Stop waiting for external validation to feel okay about who you are. That's it. That's the shift. But let me show you what this actually looks like. Imagine two people walking into the same room. Person A walks in, makes eye contact with a few people, then immediately looks down at their phone. They find a corner. They check if anyone's watching them. They smile a little too eagerly when someone finally approaches. Person B walks in, takes a breath, scans the room calmly. They don't rush to fill the silence. When someone approaches, they engage fully, but they don't cling to the conversation. They're comfortable being alone if needed. Same room, same people, completely different energy. What's the difference? Person A is constantly checking, am I okay? Am I welcome here? Do they like me? Person B already answered that question before they walked in. The answer was yes. Not because they're arrogant, but because they stopped asking other people to answer it for them. Here's the thing about human psychology. We're wired to follow certainty. When you're uncertain about your own value, others become uncertain too. Not because you're not valuable, but because you're not sure. And that uncertainty is contagious. But when you carry yourself like someone who's already decided they belong, people believe you. They don't question it. They just accept it as fact. This isn't about faking confidence. It's about stopping the exhausting habit of seeking permission to exist. Let's talk about what this looks like in actual interactions. You know that feeling when you say something and immediately start explaining it, justifying it, making sure everyone knows you didn't mean anything bad by it? That's the signal. Or when someone criticizes you and you instantly jump to defend yourself, over-explain, try to win them back. That's the signal. Or when someone doesn't text you back and you send another message just to make sure they're not upset. Signal, signal, signal. Each time you're broadcasting, I need you to tell me I'm okay. Now imagine this instead. You state an opinion, someone disagrees, and you just let it sit there. You don't rush to defend it. You don't need them to agree. You're genuinely curious about their perspective, but you're not attached to changing their mind. What happens in that moment? They respect you more, not less, more, because you just demonstrated something rare. You don't need their approval to stand by what you think. Or imagine this. Someone makes a subtle dig at you in front of others. The needy response? Get defensive, prove them wrong, make sure everyone knows they're mistaken. The self-sufficient response? A slight smile, maybe a pause. Then you continue as if nothing happened, because you genuinely don't need them to convince them of anything. And here's what's wild. Often, they'll backtrack on their own. They'll soften. They'll even apologize. Because when you don't react with neediness, you reveal that their opinion doesn't define you. And people respect that more than almost anything else. This shift changes everything about how people relate to you. In friendships, you stop being the person everyone vents to but nobody actually invites to things, because you're no longer the emotional dumping ground. You're the person who has boundaries, who has their own life, who people actually want to be around because you're not draining. In professional settings, your ideas start landing differently, not because they're better ideas, but because you're not delivering them with an invisible question mark at the end. You're not asking for permission to speak, you're simply speaking. In romantic contexts, everything changes, because the most attractive quality isn't confidence or humor or looks, it's non-neediness. It's being someone who's complete on their own, who doesn't need the other person to feel whole, but genuinely wants them in their life. That's the difference. Need repels, want attracts. And when you stop needing validation, respect, attention, approval, people suddenly want to give you all of it. It's one of the strangest paradoxes of human nature. The less you need something, the more it flows toward you. So how do you actually make this shift? It starts with catching yourself in the act. Pay attention to the moments when you're about to seek approval, when you're about to over-explain, when you're about to check if someone's mad at you. Just pause, take a breath. Ask yourself, what would I do if I already knew I was okay? Maybe you'd let the silence sit. Maybe you'd state your opinion without the 3-paragraph justification afterward. Maybe you'd let someone be wrong about you without correcting them. Start small. Pick one interaction today where you normally would have sought validation and just don't. Someone doesn't laugh at your joke? Don't explain why it was funny. Just move on. Someone questions your decision? Don't launch into defense mode. Simply say, I hear you, and let it be. Your friend doesn't respond to your text right away? Don't send a follow-up. Trust that they'll respond when they respond. Each time you do this, you're rewiring the pattern. You're teaching yourself that you don't actually need their validation to be okay. And here's what you'll notice. Most of the time, nothing bad happens. In fact, people usually respect you more. The scenarios you feared, the rejection, the anger, the abandonment, they rarely come because they were never about reality. They were about the story you told yourself about what would happen if you stopped performing for approval. Here's the truth nobody tells you. The version of you that people respect isn't some future version you have to become. It's not someone you need to transform into through years of self-help and therapy and personal development. It's you, right now, minus the constant need for validation. That's all that's in the way, that one thing. Everything you think you need to add, the confidence, the charisma, the presence, all of it is already there. It's just buried under layers of checking, seeking, needing, proving. And the moment you stop doing that, people see you clearly for the first time. Not because you changed who you are, but because you stopped hiding who you are behind the need for approval. The people worth having in your life will step closer. The ones who only valued you for your compliance will step back. And you'll finally understand that their distance isn't rejection, it's clarity. You're not losing anything real. You're just seeing what was real all along. So here's what I want you to sit with. What would your life look like if you already believed you were okay? Not perfect, not better than everyone else, just fundamentally okay. What would you do differently today? What would you stop doing? What would you finally say? What would you finally walk away from? You don't need anyone's permission to find out. You just need to stop waiting for it. For a path with no excuses and more execution, follow my mind.